Hello, John Mason. How is everybody? I'm having a schadenfreude moment right now with the self-destruction of the Republican Party. Now, part of it can be seen in Mitt Romney at the Utah Republican Convention, and he's been booed. A man of solid Republican credentials, plutocrat, severely conservative as he declares himself, and he's booed by the Utah Republican Convention for the simple reason that he voted to convict Donald Trump in the impeachment trial. And we have Liz Cheney, Republican Congresswoman from Wyoming, number 3 in the House Republican hierarchy. And she's being pushed out of her leadership position in the party for the simple reason that she voted for impeaching Trump. And they plan to replace her with this hack from upstate New York. I don't know what her name is. We'll hear more about her in the future as the Republicans are hyping her. And all these folks, Cheney, Romney, and John McCain, all these folks who have impeccable Republican and conservative credentials, but the Republican Party boos them. The party rank and file boos them. They turn against them. They hate them. For the simple reason that they're against Trump. Donald Trump is the litmus test of the Republican Party. Loyalty to Trump is a sign of a good Republican. And the Republican Party has abandoned all its alleged principles and ideals of small government and free enterprise, so-called, and individual liberty. But in reality, for all their alleged principles and ideas, the lid has gotten off the Republican Party. The emergence of Trump and the people who vote for him are the real Republican Party, are the real basis of the Republican Party. Racism, transphobia, homophobia, religious bigotry, fear of the other, xenophobia, rich people conning poor people to vote for them, and the rich people get tax breaks and grants and bailouts whenever they're in trouble. Already billionaire corporations are getting grants from the federal government, not only loans, but grants and tax breaks, are receiving tax refunds for supposedly they're so essential to the economy. And the stock market keeps rising, but that's not the economy. But I digress. That is the whole 9 yards of the Republican Party. Racism and homophobia, and for the lower classes, but for the upper classes, oligarchy. That would shock a Russian mafioso. Yep, and Trump is the figurehead for all the racism, plutocracy, repressiveness, and narrow-mindedness that the Republican Party is glorifying, without the cover of high-sounding appeals to the Constitution or free enterprise or God or what have you. And as the Republican Party further descends into nowhere's land, to oblivion, Republican state legislators are trying to hold on to power through such means as voter repression laws and voter ID laws, anything to prevent unfavorable constituencies and demographics from voting. And of course, the old reliable gerrymandering, and that's along with anti-trans bills. Their target is transgender kids who feel they're they're of one gender, but they should be of the other gender, and they go through the whole process, ending up in the surgery, gender reassignment surgery. But it's these vulnerable kids that they're their target. These vulnerable kids who are worried about the future, don't know who they are or what they are or where they stand in the world. And all this leads a lot of them to suicide. If they had a conscience, which I highly doubt, these Republican legislators would take that into consideration. But they don't. They're appealing to a very narrow base of religious bigots and older people who are trying desperately to bring the good old days back, wherever the hell they were. Good for who? That's the question. And if the Republican Party was truly a popularly based national party, the Republicans wouldn't try to do all this, the voter repression, the voter ID laws, and the Electoral College. Two of the past Republican presidents have only gotten in due to the Electoral College. The Electoral College has to be eliminated. And these voter ID and voter suppression laws have to be challenged. And if the Republican Party resorts to all this just to stay in power, it has to be destroyed. It has to be rooted out. It has to die. It has to go the way of the Whigs and the Federalists and the dodo. It has to be eliminated. May 18th is the primary election day in Pennsylvania. I don't know what it is in your state, but I encourage you, get out there and vote. Your vote is your superpower. Don't let anyone take your superpower away. All this voter suppression, voter ID stuff that they're ramming through state legislatures is kryptonite. Don't fall for the kryptonite. And don't fall for the lies. And don't fall for the high-sounding talk of, well, we have to protect voter integrity. They don't care about voter integrity. They only care about staying in power for eternity. Voters, Americans, get out there and vote. Raise your consciousness. Raise your awareness. Ask questions of the candidates come by. Ask them serious questions. Let them know you're paying attention to the world and your communities. Stay engaged and keep voting. And on that cheery note, it's time for me to talk about one of my favorite small businesses, Hemperific LLC. They're a terrific little CBD product store on 15th and Snyder. They got the finest CBD products you can find, like teas and coffees and gummies and drinks and flowers. Check them out. HemperificLLC.com. And also, I submit to you one of my favorite people, career counselor, career coach, Michelle Snow. If you're launching a career or a small business, she's the perfect one for you to help you push it forward. She's like any coach. She encourages you, she motivates you, she cheers you on when you succeed. and she's there for you when you have questions. And she'll help you network with other small entrepreneurs to move your own business along. It's the small businesses, not these big billion-dollar conglomerates and who suck up all the world's money. It's these small businesses and the working people who buy in those small businesses that keep the economy going. GrowWithSnow.com. Okay, I said my piece. And to all the ladies there, Happy Mother's Day. I salute you. Take care. Enjoy the weekend. Bye.